So basically, as both of you are familiar with the UiPath concepts, right? So basically, the UiPath is also one of the RPA tool, which is basically the robotic process automation, where you can automate your process, right? So you are aware from the concepts of the RPA. So RPA is basically the robotic process automation. Okay. So the robotic process automations means we are just going to create a bot. Okay, bot is basically which is the combination of your steps which user is performing the manually. We are just going to create a bot of all the steps which will be executed automatically, and manual interventions is going to be reduced or completely cut off. So now basically there are two kind of automation. Okay. One is traditional automation and second is RP automation, which is robotic process automation. Okay. So the traditional automation, if I talk about, so in traditional automation, person must be familiar or the aware from the programming skill sets where highly programming skill sets is required. For example, if you want to automate a process with the Java based application, or by using the Java programming or C++. So you must be aware from the technology, which is basically the Java programming or the C++. But in the RPA automation, only you just need to aware from the process which user is running manually. You just need to aware from the process, and all the things, all the activities has been defined in the tool which you can drag and drop into the canvas and which you directly can use it. Like for an example, if I say I just want to use the loop concepts, so what you will do in the Java programming or into the C++ or into the VB script, you will write the code for the for loop. But in the RPA, basically there is a activities which is related to the loop concepts, and we can directly use that loop activities and it will work perfectly fine according to the requirement. So for this RPA automation, if you are not aware from the programming skill sets, this is not required. Only you must be aware from the process which is running the manually as of now, which you are going to automate. Okay, every activities is a predefined. Only you just need to aware from the activities that which activity we have to use in which kind of a scenario. Okay, so let's take an example. So I'm just gonna brief you about the one of the automations, and then we will see how we are going to automate this process. So for an example, suppose if you have this login activity, which is basically the simple activity. So what you have to do is you have this URL, and here what you have to do is you have to enter this email ID, you have to enter the password, and you have to click on a sign in. That's it. Now this activity, if you will try to automate by using the VB script or the Java, right? Where you will install the separate software, which is basically the Selenium based software, right? And using that Selenium, you can automate this process. But for the Selenium, there is one thing which is going to, you know, uh, going to be difficult for you or for the user. What is that? Suppose every time if your browser gets updated, the version of the browser will gets updated. So you have to download the new Chrome driver basically for that Chrome browser. For example, as of now, if suppose if I'm using my Chrome browser is 113.0 version, and now today I have downloaded the Selenium which contains the same Chrome version. But tomorrow, if my Chrome version gets updated from 113 to 117, so in that case, your automation will not work. So what you will do in that case, you will download the upgraded Chrome version as per your software. You will copy that, you will paste into the Selenium basic library, and then it will work. It means every time you have to look into this one whenever your Chrome browser will gets updated. The same version you have to download from the repository and you have to place into the Selenium Basic. Okay. But if you are performing through this RPA automation, so Selenium is not required. Okay. Selenium is not required. So it will work on your Chrome browser, whether it is 113 or it is 117 or whatever the version user is using. So it will work in each and every version. Okay. So for an example, I have this web page, and in this web page, I just need to go for this login activity. So for this page, I have this user ID and password. So if you want to automate any web page activity, like in this case, I want to go for this login activities. So what will be the steps? First of all, you will open the browser, or you can say you will launch the browser, right? After that, what will be your second step? Enter the username. What will be your third step? Enter the password. And what will be your fourth step? Click on sign in or login button. Correct? These will be the steps. Correct? So you are aware from the steps that first of all, user is going to open the web page. Once the web page loaded successfully, in the username box, user will enter the username. Then in the password box, user will enter the password and user will click on the sign in button or the login button. Okay. So you are aware from the steps. Now to perform these steps, you must be aware from the activities. Okay. So now if you go into this if you just go into this RPA desktop, so here what we have to do is, first of all, we have to launch the browser or launch the web page. So if you want to launch this web page, so in the left hand side, you can see all these actions. Okay, these actions are known as activities in the UI path, and same in this Power Automate desktop, we call it as a action. So here, if you see, if you want to perform any browser related automation, so you can see the browser automation action. If you expand this one, you can see all the browser related activities. Okay, so if you see, so you have the launch option. So you want to open your web page into Microsoft Edge or in the Chrome or in Firefox or in Internet Explorer, all the browser has been given to you. So I just want to go with this Chrome. So I will simply drag this launch new Chrome into this canvas area. This is known as a canvas area. And now once you have dragged this, so now you can see it will give you the pop-up where you have to provide the required field. Now it is asking for the URL, which URL you want to open. So I'm just gonna copy this URL. So this is my URL for this page. I have simply pasted into this initial URL. Now it says when this page will be open, so you want to open into the maximize or in normal window state or in minimize. Okay. So I said simply I just want to go for the maximize, or in normal you can also go for this one. Okay. There are some advanced feature and functionalities. We will discuss it later on. No worries. And now simply if I click on the save, so now this launch action is assigned successfully. So it means it will open this browser. Now, once this browser will be launched successfully, okay, then after that, this page will get open, and in this email address, I just need to enter the email ID, and here in the password, I need to enter the password, then click on the sign in button. Now here, if you want to enter the email address in this input box, so which action you will use, you must be aware for. So if you want to type anything on the web page in any of the box, so here we use this populate. So simply I clicked on this populate text field on the web page. Now the browser instance is captured automatically. Now it is asking for the UI element. So I just need to spy the UI element. Click on this drop down and go into this add UI element. Once you will click on this one, it will open a wizard, and now if you'll hover the cursor, now it is asking which element you want to spy. So I want to spy this input email. Hold the control key and do the left click. So now it will spy this web page. Now you can see the element has been spied successfully, and now it is asking that what you want to enter into this element. So this is my username, so I'm just gonna pass this username. This is done. Save it. Now same again the populate text field, and now this time we will just go for the second element. Go for the add UI element again for spying the password box. So I have clicked on this add UI element. So it will give you the wizard here, and you can see input password I have spied, and now password I will enter. So like this is my password. So enter this password and save it. After that, I just need to click on the sign in button. So here, if I type this click, so you will be able to see the click activities over here, or the click action. So use this click element in window, and now just go for this add UI element, and we will go for that sign in button. Okay, this one. So go into sign in, control and left click. So now this is also expired successfully. Now it is asking that in this button, which kind of a click you want to apply, left click, right click, double click, or whatever. So I want to go for the left click. Now save it. So now you have created a proper flow, and your flow simply says, first of all, you are going to launch the application. Then you are going to enter the username. Then you are going to enter the password, and you are going to click on a sign in button. Now run this process and see how does it work. So simply click on this run button. Once you will click on this run, so it will start your execution of all the actions which you have created on this web page. Okay, so you can see launch new Chrome. So it is going to open your web page on the browser. Now it will enter the email address and it will enter the password. You can see password, and it click on the sign in button. You can see. Okay, so it perform accurate. Okay, so you can see this is basically the simple sign in activity. There is no line of a code or single line of a code I have not written. Okay, automatically everything is a predefined, actions are predefined, which we have captured over here, and simply we have spied the elements, nothing else. Okay, so this is basically the concept that how this Power Automate Desktop works. So Power Automate Desktop is basically the RPA applications which are going to automate your process. So you can automate any of the process which is basically the browser based application or window based application or the mainframe application or the Java based application. Any kind of applications you can easily automate. Okay, so these kind of things we are just going to see into our scenarios. So all kind of automations we are just going to see. So you must be aware from that which kind of actions we are going to use into which kind of a scenario. Okay, so we will see this one. Any doubt, any query, anyone into this one?
No, Anup. Actually, what I feel is it's like more of similar to UiPath only, no?
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
the as I
Hmm.
said, the UiPath is also the RPA applications, right? And this Power Automate Desktop is also for this RP applications, basically the robotic process automations. Okay. But
Okay.
the feature and the functionalities basically is a little bit different over here. Okay. The concept will remain the same. Okay. But the actions which we are going to use into the RPA desktop, which is Power Automate Desktop, and in the UiPath, so that will be the little bit different, right? As you have
Okay.
used this one also, like you have used this one also. So in UiPath you have worked, right? Or you have seen the UiPath. So in UiPath there is a different way for this one. In UiPath you do not have this populate action, right?
Yeah.
Correct. But here we
Yeah.
have the populate. Correct.
Okay.
So these kind of things. So the process, if you are aware from the UiPath, so you are aware from the concepts, okay, that how this
Okay.
concept will work. But to
Okay.
apply that concept, what kind of actions you will use into this Power Automate Desktop, that you must be aware for.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. And
this one.
may I know what is the major uh, Microsoft Power Automate Desktop is a like better version or better in action compared to your UiPath? Or I would like to know the differences, or if
Mm.
it is more advanced, or how it is.
Okay, so it is basically, it is the more advanced as well, because here you can see the cognitive wizard is also there. Okay, they have just given this computer vision, text analytics, they have just added this one. And you can see if you are working on the FTP connections as well, you can go for this one. Like in the UiPath, if you work and if you have to work for any additional, the software related activities, for an example, so you have to install the package first of all, correct? But here we do not need to install the package, the first thing. Second, in the UiPath, if you just go for the advanced automation, so you have to use the somewhere the .NET code as well, correct?
Okay.
But here we do not need to use that .NET coding.
Okay.
Okay. And like,
VB.NET, right? You're talking
yeah,
about.
VB.NET, correct. And same, if you have to perform, for example, if I want to perform any PDF automation in the UiPath, so first of all, I just need to configure the PDF package. Okay. But here you do not need to configure any PDF package. Here the PDF action is already there. Okay. Because the package which you configure in a particular file in the UiPath, so that will be used only into that particular file. If you'll open any new path UiPath file, so in that again you have to install that PDF package.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay.
But here no need to install any of the
No,
packages, right?
no,
For
no,
example, like PDF or any um,
no.
like
Everything is a
Excel.
predefined over here.
So
Everything is
we
there.
don't have the concept of like managing the packages, right?
No,
Everything is
correct,
inbuilt.
correct. No,
Okay, that is the major reason, major
that is,
difference.
yeah, that this is the one of the major reason I would say. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And always, the actions are basically, as I said, you can also perform the file folder related activities, browser based related activities, right? You are also able to see in the UiPath, but those are also available into the Power Automate Desktop. But in the terms of the package, which I have told you, so this is the major thing which you have to take it into the UiPath, but you should not take it into the Power Automate Desktop.
Okay.
Okay, this one.
Okay.
And everything is into the very simple way. Everything is very easy to predefine it over here. And you can see this is easily categorized over here, where you have to go for the variables, right? You can see everything. Increase and
Yeah.
decrease the variables. You can see if you want to increase the variable, you can increase. If you want to decrease the variable, you can decrease. But in
Okay.
UiPath, what you have to do? You have to use the assign
Multiple assign.
activity. Assign, where you have to go for the increase. So you will go for the assign variable, then variable name +1, right? For increase,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
decrease -1.
Yeah.
But here
Yeah.
directly you can see this one.
Okay.
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 So these kind of things over here. And now, like here, for an example, if you have this username and the password, for example, suppose there are three things which you are taking the input from the user. Okay. So what you will do in the UI path, you will just go for the multiple assign activities, correct? Where you multiple assign activities, in the multiple assign activities, you will just enter the values for the first variable, second variable, and third variable, correct? But if I ask you, I want to take the input from the user for three categories. For example, I want to take the input from the user for the ID, username, and password. These three things. So you will use the three times the input activities in the UI path or not?
Yes, yes.
Correct. But here they have just given the feature, then you can customize the form. Okay. You can customize the form, and in the one form, when the process will run, one form will be appear, and there user can enter the username, password, and ID in a one form itself. I'm not going to use the three times the input activities. Okay. So they have given this option, then we can customize the form as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So lot of the things has been given it over here when we will just go with the session. So lot of
Okay.
the things has been given over here, and you can see this is very simple. You can see the loops and all, each and everything.
Okay. Compared to UA path, it is more of user friendly, right?
User friendly, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Everything is very easy in the terms of the predefined, right? In basically when you use the UI path, right? So there is a for each loop activities, right? So there is a
Mm-hmm.
for each table, then for each, right? You go
Mm.
for the data table, then you have to use a for each data table activities, right? But here
Yes,
there
yes.
is no kind of that. Here is simple the for each loop. It means this is simple for each loop. You can apply in normal for each, you can apply in Excel table
Mm.
activities, or where you want to use it. Simple. So
Okay.
this is very user friendly, I would say.
Okay. There we used to write some syntax, no? To
Yeah.
loop through. What about here? Here also you need to write some syntax.
No, here we do not need to write syntax. Here simply what we will do is, if you will go for this any of these looping concepts, na, for example, if you
Mm.
have dragged this for each, simply look here,
Mm.
I'm getting only the one wizard. I'm not getting any kind of other window apart from this one.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
simply I
Code
just
we
hit
will write, no? Code we
yes.
will write in UA path. Here not required.
No, here is not required. Correct.
Okay. Then how it will loop into each item in any array or something like that? You have a
Yes,
separate mechanism.
correct. So here for each, here you can see, so in for each, what will happen? It is asking the value to iterate, correct?
Yes.
So before
Yes.
that, when we are reading any data, for example, if we are reading any data from the Excel, so that is going to hold into a variable, correct? And that
Yes.
variable will be call out over here.
Okay.
Okay. If you
Okay.
see in each and everything, for example, the first action launch new Chrome I have used. So can you
Mm.
see the variable produce? What is the variable name? Browser.
Yeah.
Okay. So in
Yeah.
basically, if now you go here, so you can see, look, this is something where we have entered the username password, correct? So whenever you just perform the actions, it is going to generate the variable automatically, correct? But in the UI path, what you do? You define the variable name and you define the data type as well,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
here, automatically, it is going to create the variable for you. You do not
Mm-hmm.
need to define any kind of a variable. Got the point? So whenever,
Yeah.
for example, suppose if I'm launching any Excel, okay, so you can see, look, Excel instance variable is automatically produced or not?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I know
If
this. Yeah.
if I'm gonna read the data from Excel, so here, if you click on this one, can you see the Excel data variable is created automatically or not?
Yes. Right.
Correct. So
Yeah.
automatically it will create the variable, it will detect the data type.
Okay.
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 So
Got it.
this
Yeah.
is very simple in the terms of, basically the UI path, I would say. Okay. And you can see in the advanced, if you go, the lot of the activities has been given for the Excel. You can see if you want to copy the cell, if you want to delete the row, if you want to insert the row, if you want to rename the Excel worksheet, look,
Mhm.
the advanced
Okay.
related, this one.
Okay.
Okay. So this is very user friendly in the terms
Mhm.
of the UI path, I would say. And you do not
Mm.
need to go for any manage package activities, which package you have to configure, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere in the UI path, you have to, tackle the things by using the .NET programming. But here
Yeah.
that is not required.
Okay.
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 So
Mhm.
all the things we are just going to see this one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
And when you just go into that UI path, okay, so there the one package is created, correct? When you automate any
Yes.
bot, so package is created, but here
Yes.
no separate package is going to be created. Whenever you will save any of the file, for example, if I have done this and if I will simply save, so it is going to show into the Power Automate desktop. Let me show you.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
here, whatever the things you have done, whenever you will open the Power Automate, all the process you are able to see in a one thing. Look,
Okay.
okay, this one,
Okay.
simple.
Okay.
And you can also run it from here. You can see the play button, this one. You do not need to open this one. Simply you can click it from here itself.
Okay.
Okay, this one.
Okay.
And we will also see how we can share with the other user and how we can deploy this one.
Yeah. Yeah. There we used to deploy into orchestrator, right? Assistant and
Here is
orchestrator
no
process.
orchestrator, first of all.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
like here, there is a orchestrator in the UI path, which is basically the control room. Okay, but
Mm.
here, if you want to
Mm.
share with someone, you can share.
Mm.
There is no kind of a orchestrator activities that you have to create a package, you have to deploy this one. No, it's
Mm.
not like that. Okay, so simple.
Okay.
There is basically the make Power Automate. Okay, so whatever you will just publish this one, it is going to uh, take it over here itself.
Okay.
Okay, user can just perform this one and user can use. If I just go into this my flows, can you see the desktop flows? Look.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
as of now I have
Mm.
not published anything. When I'll just publish this one, it will come into the my desktop flows.
Okay. This is the web cloud platform kind of thing, right? So
Correct,
whatever
correct.
the code we developed, we that will
Hmm.
automatically reflect over here, so the
Mhm.
client can make use of it or deploy it, right?
Correct, correct.
Is it so? Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.